A new year means a new Call of Duty game, but Black Ops 7 hasn't been hitting quite the same as its older siblings. Is this a one-off misstep, or is the entire franchise in decline? We have the facts. You be the judge.
A lot of people counting on us for answers. So we ready here?
Let's do this.
From the outside looking in, it's obvious that Call of Duty Black Ops 7 is a new low point for the series. Back in 2010, the very first Black Ops breathed some much-needed new life into the Call of Duty series. It's still the most beloved of all the Black Ops games. At least, that's what Metacritic says. It has a score in the high 80s, and not a single sequel has beaten it so far. With that said, most of the Black Ops games received Metacritic scores in the 80s as well, aside from Black Ops Cold War, which ranked in the mid-70s. Black Ops 7 broke the streak even harder. Critics don't completely hate the game, but they aren't really singing its praises either. It scored a 67 from critics on Metacritic, and the general player score is much lower. Setting aside the numbers for a moment, gamers in online discussions also genuinely agree that the Black Ops series peaked early in its life cycle. Fans are particularly fond of Black Ops 2, which debuted all the way back in 2012. Now it seems like Black Ops may never be able to recapture that early magic.
No more games. This ends now.
Critic reviews and online fan discussions aren't our only tools for measuring the success of Black Ops 7. As far as the player base on PC is concerned, there's hard data about the game's popularity with actual players. Unfortunately, Black Ops 7 is on track to be a massive disappointment in that regard. Black Ops 7 landed in players' hands on November 14th. 2 days later, the game hit a peak player count of just over 100,000. That's a far cry from the peak player count for Black Ops 6, which topped 300,000. Even more concerning, all those Black Ops 7 players didn't stick around for very long. A month after the game's release, its player count had dropped well over 50%, and barely over 50,000 people were playing the game on a daily basis. Perhaps the numbers are better on console, but this decline doesn't bode well for Activision. At this point, Call of Duty as a whole is probably too big to fail, but there's definitely a chance that we never get a Black Ops 8. 2025 has been a big year for first-person shooters. With the release of both Battlefield 6 and Black Ops 7, FPS fans got to see the two mega franchises go head-to-head for the first time in years. The games debuted about a month apart from each other, and gamers everywhere were excited to see what title would come out on top.
Shouldn't you be counting stacks of money somewhere?
Oh, that comes later.
Before either game was released, there were clear signs that Call of Duty should be watching its back. For one thing, Battlefield fans were primed for a franchise comeback after years of waiting, while Call of Duty fans have been spoiled for content. Add to that the fact that Black Ops 6 left a sour taste in the mouths of a solid fraction of players, and it's obvious that 2025 was a chance for Battlefield to really shine. Now that both games have hit the market, we can compare them a little more clearly. Reports indicate that Black Ops 7 became the most played game in the United States in the month after its release. But on the other hand, Battlefield 6 ultimately made more money. That relative lack of sales could be a sign that interest in Call of Duty, or at least the Black Ops branding, is beginning to wane. It's hard to say that there was a definitive winner in the 2025 FPS battle, but Call of Duty should absolutely be worried about Battlefield as a competitor going forward. Buying Call of Duty for its story mode is kind of like buying Chex Mix for the little breadsticks. We all know that's not really why you got it. Still, some of the series installments have featured genuinely spectacular stories. The first Black Ops game, for instance, featured a mind-bending narrative with a truly stacked cast. It's set a high bar that arguably no Black Ops sequel has lived up to. But the Black Ops 7 campaign is particularly disappointing by comparison. Players have taken to the internet to make their complaints about the Black Ops 7 campaign known. On a gameplay level, most players don't agree with the direction that the game has taken. They aren't fans of the semi-open world level design, the XP mechanics, or the seemingly out-of-place boss battles.
Wow, that was weird, huh?
All that lackluster gameplay would be tolerable if the game had a strong story, but it's been a failure on that front too. Fans have complained that the campaign's narrative mostly spins its wheels to arrive at a cliffhanger ending that's trying to sell you on seasonal content drops. New seasons are supposed to continue the story of the campaign, but the very first one for Black Ops 7 unceremoniously kills off the game's main villain in a cutscene. Maybe it's some sort of fake-out, but the seemingly baffling decision has already left a sour taste in many fans' mouths. The Black Ops 7 campaign has left players wanting, and many of them aren't satisfied by the game's multiplayer either. A huge portion of the backlash Black Ops 7 is currently facing can be directly tied to problems players are having with the game's multiplayer mode. There are definitely some things that Black Ops 7 has gotten right. Online fans have said that the multiplayer maps are a huge improvement over the previous game, and players are genuinely enjoying the new game's approach to matchmaking lobbies. Sadly, those are about the only two things that fans think are working well in the game. The major issue that most players bring up is much more fundamental to the overall gameplay experience: the netcode issues. Players have been getting unexpectedly killed through cover, lagging out at key moments in the battle, and genuinely fighting against the game's bugs more than other players. That's a recipe for a rage quit.
Don't let emotions take over.
That's easier said than done.
Not even zombies could get Call of Duty out of this jam. If gamers are given the choice to either battle glitches in COD or hop into a Fortnite lobby, they'll usually pick the latter. If the underwhelming reception for Black Ops 7 was a one-off occurrence, then maybe Call of Duty fans could rest easy. Unfortunately, Black Ops 7 is just the latest indicator that the series as a whole is closer to crashing and burning. Take a look at the franchise's history. It's easy to see that most of the best Call of Duty games were released over a decade ago. It's tempting to assume that fans are being blinded by nostalgia, but there's some real data that suggests gamers aren't as excited by COD as they once were. In the modern era of the franchise, fewer and fewer players have been showing up to check out the newest Call of Duty game. When Modern Warfare 2 hit the scene in 2022, it set a new concurrent player record for the series with a peak of nearly 500,000. Those numbers fell off somewhat quickly, but the concerning fact is that every new release since has had a significantly lower peak. With Black Ops 7 at 5-digit player numbers, it's abundantly clear that Call of Duty needs to make serious changes if it wants to turn around its failing reputation.